This is going to be super, super important. All these teams, they have to be on their best behavior. We've seen some of the big teams falling to those teams that we didn't expect, and a lot of the underdogs kind of coming to life. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
In their favor.
Oh, brilliant!
So sick.
Down to the backhand side, they could clear that in seconds. And the Weavling and Kazzlers, they have to find a way to push themselves out of the 2v2 situation and the possibility for more, but it is not that third round to go down for Unties. Instead, LeBron to put their best game forward. There it goes. So many players already slowly rotated down onto the side, and Super Cat is making this flawless round.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Hey. One enemy remaining.
There's no distance I won't go. Cause the climb's all that I know. And I face it all on my own. So my name will be known. Yeah, my name will be known.
Don't worry, Frank.
Right here, right now. This is the moment we're running in. This is the moment we run. We doing this for the love of it. Give me up.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
One day. Cage trigger.
One enemy remaining.
Here is the retake from Mesos. Opening from Bunny B. And Scary Shark tries to do what they can. Going through the smoke into mind games. Oh my god, the adjustment, the 180, the Red Bull clutch. The Scary Shark there. Only one choke for Animal and Starlight to go, and they're on the retreat.
What from Scary Shark in the last two, in the first two kills, and the third and fourth actually. You saw the Plastic came through the support on the first two kills, then the fault line to stun two players right there to allow Humilian to get these picks. That was great synergy.
The Animal's already been detected. I mean, the Paranoia was just thrown their way, and Mesos gotta do the most from this. And Marceline, she's so stoic, right on the side with the op and the knives, just to cut through the enemies like butter.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second day of Verizon Game Changers main event. We have a lot of very exciting things going on for today, especially I first want to bring up that Bala came out of retirement just for Wyatt, just for today. It's amazing. You're going to be back for a couple of days. So Bala, I mean, great to have you again.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch one more Game Changers this year because it's always such a fun time as it heads into the international event at the end of the year.
What about you, Wyatt? How are you feeling about this?
I mean, my heart was just fluttering. I didn't know that you came back just for me,
You
Arden. That was
think
that was a
Wyatt-
little reveal. Oh,
He's so
they can
excited.
hear me on the stream.
Okay,
You guys
well,
just-
we couldn't hear
it's
you.
fine.
My
They
bad.
can-
I need
Okay.
to hear your voice,
They
man.
can
Come
hear
on.
me. Oh no, I was just I said my heart was fluttering. It was a whole thing. I was turning red. I was blushing. I didn't know you came back just for me, Arden. That's beautiful. That's so sweet. And I just, I can't believe it. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a great day today. Yesterday, we had a lot of matches that we expected, or we didn't really know what to expect, that ended up being closer, and that just continues to prove the level of Game Changers. For today, we're going to have FlyQuest Red going against Refrag, and for the second match of today of the main broadcast, we're going to have Mesos Millionaires going against Teddy Tactics. These are teams that we've seen for some time, some names, especially on these teams that we've known, of FlyQuest that has kept the core Bala for some time, and one that we're expecting to make it to the grand finals once again.
Yeah, especially with one minor change to the roster. I mean, maybe not minor as you might think, as they push to actually win a Game Changers event this time around. And you remember last year, I mean, some of the players on this team did end up winning that last one out and make it to the international in Brazil at the end of it. So maybe history could repeat itself. That was a lower bracket run. That was crazy stuff from them. But here, I think they genuinely have a chance. I think they've already shown multiple times that they can take down Shopify. Here in the close qualifiers, they did it again early on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see if they continue to show form.
I mean, just in the grand finals for the second series, they made it very close. It was a 3-2. It could have gone either way, Wyatt. And even looking at this lower bracket right now, there's teams that we believe can make a deeper run in the lower bracket. We're going to jump into the lower bracket for the second match of today with the Message Millionaires and Teddy Tactics. But I think all these teams we've known for some time, and they've just been trying to push and see how far they can make it. And this is the time to do it. This is your chance to make it to that international in Berlin.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you know, heading into this FlyQuest Shopify, they've got hella points. They're in prime position to be able to make it unless there's some kind of crazy upset where a team like YFP can actually win out this tournament, go on a crazy run. But yeah, you had mentioned it, Drive, how close FlyQuest and SR were in stage 2 rather. In that final, that's where Floor dropped plus 40 kills, 111 kills in the BO5. The FlyQuest were playing a better Valorant. Floor went bananas to win that game. So I'm really excited for, you know, if we can get to that rematch, but also if some of these teams with a lot of, you know, fresh faces to the top main event scene can make a name for themselves, claim a big upset.
Yeah, to make sense as well of the circuit points real quick. Like you said, why? I mean, it's almost locked up for the top two there in terms of a berth to the championship. But there's still that chance, right? There's still that chance for somebody to win out. And then it does kind of make things a little weird for the Shopify and FlyQuest in terms of who goes. Obviously, Shopify's ahead, but not by that much. Not by as much as they were last year, for example, you would say.
Especially because we've had these two teams make it to the grand finals every single time. It's been FlyQuest and Shopify, and even though Shopify has been getting away with the win, we said it's very close and it can go either way. And we can also have any other team making it to the grand final, winning the grand final. It's something that happened last year, for example, so it's always there on the table, and that's why these teams have been putting so much effort to see how far they can make it, to see if they can actually make that event in Berlin possible. But let's dive into our first matchup today, which is going to be FlyQuest against Refrag that we got to see on the main broadcast yesterday. But FlyQuest I want to talk about because this is a team that we've known. A lot of the players now having some LAN experience that they've gotten in the past couple of years, players that we know and love, Wyatt, and seeing them, we're starting to get the vibe of what shape are they in for this last stage of NA.
Yeah, it goes without saying that this team is super stacked. Some of the most experienced players in the Game Changers scene. Sonder, obviously, big name here in the NAGC scene. Dodonut is right up there, always statistically top 2 duelists, Dodonut and Floor, every single Game Changers. So excited to see more of what she can do. She didn't really even have to do much at all yesterday. I mean, it was just everyone on the team dropping bombs for that win. Maybe today, this is where, you know, Dodonut can kind of take over again. But again, it goes without saying, this roster is just so stacked.
Yeah. I really love the merging at the beginning of the year of kind of the two major cores from EG and then also Sonder on what was prior Shopify before that. It's super interesting to see it continue to maybe improve. We'll see. I think right now that's the feeling that we're getting coming through from the first close qualifier that we had. And heading into this main event as well. I think that is what we're seeing, is this is an improvement over the last few events for them. And that means a lot for us here in Game Changers because any improvement could overtake and end up being a slight better performance than a 3-2 against Shopify.
And it's something that we've seen for FlyQuest recently. And just every single time that you watch them play these matches, you can tell the depth of their preparation, everything that Joby has been putting as the coach to make sure that they're in the best shape coming to these events. Yeah, sure, they haven't been able to get that #1 spot just yet, but it seems like they're just in the right track to do so. Yeah. And something that we need to talk about as well, Wyatt, is that they made a change in the roster.
Yeah, they did. I mean, a change not so purposeful, as Lace had to step down due to the medical issues she was having with her hand, which is really unfortunate because I think Lace was one of my favorite players to watch in Game Changers. I think she was one of like the top 3 players in NA Game Changers, and so that's large shoes to fill for EVV, who's stepping in now, first top legit team that they're going to be competing with. Played well yesterday, but that was just a dominant series where FlyQuest were an echelon above Elation Vortex. So now as we're getting deeper into the bracket, it's a matter of seeing if EVV can be, you know, as good as the other top competitors, the perennial competitors that we see over and over deep in these brackets, and if they can be good enough to take down a team like the likes of Shopify, the YFPs, etc.
Yeah.
And it's go ahead, Mbala.
I also just want to shout out that they've had LAN experience now with this team too, right? So it's a new addition, but they've had a lot of experience. They've got some officials under the belt, right? It's not just the close qualifiers like you see a lot of times. And to me, this is kind of reminiscent of last year for EG, for Jovi, for Thea, for Starbound. They all had this kind of new addition late. Thea was that one. So making a change like this, they're not unfamiliar with it. And EVV supposedly, and as we've seen so far, can meet the echelon that they need and fill the large shoes that Lace left.
Especially because it's not only Lace, but it's this FlyQuest organization that has been doing so well, not only throughout the year, but when you look at the roster in general, Wyatt, it just seems like they've been almost about to take down that Shopify core with Mel and Alexis. And even though there's been a couple scenarios where it's happened, as we saw 2 years ago in that championship, back when it happened again in Berlin, it seems like it just, when is it actually going to happen right here in NA? And I mean, as they continue to advance, these are the expectations that we need to put up for them.
Yeah, I agree. It is, for me as well, a matter of when is it going to happen. I thought it was going to happen back in Stage 2. I do think that they were playing better Valorant as a team than Shopify in that final, but Floor had a life performance, even by Floor standards, to get them over the finish line and win that BO5 3-2. I don't know if that's always going to be replicable. Shopify certainly can play at an incredibly high level as far as the team play as well, but I think FlyQuest, you know, roster talented individuals aside, it's really the preparation and as a unit where their bread is buttered. What? That's his phrase. People say that.
I know, but that's not how they use it. Why? They don't say that they're like.
What?
Okay, no, you're good. It's all good. Look, I was gonna agree with you about one thing, that at the end of that tournament, I think FlyQuest was playing better. They just kind of had Floor had a live series down the line in the grand finals. But for me, I wasn't really feeling that it was that time for them yet, especially given the early performance in that tournament. It was much more shaky. They had to make that lower bracket run, and that's where I lost a little confidence. Here, they're coming out the gates really, really strong, and thankfully as well, they're not going down straight to the lower bracket. They don't have a random upset. They're not going through a gauntlet of experienced teams. Here, we have the team that they're playing, Reformed, is a kind of relatively new upstart. So again, an opportunity for them to just put it away, put themselves in position to face Shopify in the upper bracket final, and give themselves a couple shots here at taking them down.
And that's when we need to see this FlyQuest team look more dominant than ever. When you're going against these teams that are still trying to adapt, they're still constantly making changes and figuring out what is working out for them. But Refrag, though, has been good. You mentioned it before. They used to be called Reform. Now they're going by Refrag, and we got to see them yesterday. They look pretty good. I think the IGLing for Riv has been really showing up for these important matches. And when you're going against FlyQuest, it's something that Riv was saying was, we're taking it one step at a time. We're not going to be, putting all the pressure that we need to win it and we need to be dominant. It's just playing our best and seeing where that takes us, Bala.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a huge fan of Riv since I saw their performance last GC. The IGLing, and to me also the confidence coming out of them is straight up baller for a first time performance from a different region overall, the Australian as well. And I think they've put together something special here. I think she really can call under pressure. She can end up coming up with some very good ideas, and I remember a deadlock on bind type of thing, right, before it became even a staple. There was a lot of stuff that she was doing out of the meta that I appreciated, and I think we haven't quite seen it again this event. But it's something that should be developing, especially with a lot of match experience that they've gotten throughout the open qualifiers.
And one of the players that Refrag has, that FlyQuest had at some point, is Emlo, who was doing insane yesterday on the desk. We were talking about Emlo constantly because she has always been so good. And Athena was on the desk. Athena played with Emlo at some point, and she was sharing stories about how she thinks that Emlo has one of the best aims that we have in Game Changers. It's something that we saw yesterday, being the difference maker in every way possible, Wyatt. And when you are also playing against your old organization, even if you didn't play with those same teammates, it's still gonna be that feeling of revenge and showing what you got now.
The performance, specifically the performance here on the deadlock, was lights out. We've seen plenty of times now that deadlock can be so efficient, so powerful on Lotus. And Emluo was just taking full advantage, dropped 29 in this game. It ended up being pretty close, too. It was a 13-10 win. This was, you know, their map pick, and Emluo was really the one who brought them over the finish line. Just a lights-out performance, going up against the old organization, like you mentioned today.
And it's a pressure on for this side of Refrag that they're going against a favorite team of FlyQuest, a team that everybody is expecting is going to make it to the grand finals. But when you have individual pieces like this wide, when you have Emlo on your team, and it's an Emlo that no matter what agent she's playing, she's fragging out, I think there's still going to be a little bit of pressure on FlyQuest because they're known for also losing matches like this one.
Yeah, this is, you know, a potential game where there's an upset. It could happen for sure.
Yeah, I would also say that there's two ends to the coin when you have a former player playing against their former team, especially on a team that's inexperienced, as Refrag is. It could either go where it becomes overbearing for Emlo to try to give the advice, to try to make calls based on the information that she has, or it could go the opposite where you know, you just kind of ignore it and play the game. Either one can be positive or negative, but we'll have to see today. And I'd be really interested to hear about what that thought process is if they do end up winning.
Yeah, finding out who's going to take the advantage, but that's going to start on the map select. So let's jump into the maps. Let's find out where we're going to be headed for today, because you can really tell us if this is going to the 3 maps and even if Refrag can get the win at the end. And we have Bind, Sunset, and Icebox. Wyatt, what do you make of this?
The Bind? That could be a little bit tough. It's interesting to see that I had to squint and kind of rub my eyes here to make sure that I was seeing that correctly, that Refrag picked Bind after yesterday FlyQuest they won 13-1. They crushed Elation Vortex. It was not close at all. So that is pretty interesting to see, feeling confident in their ability to counter call, get the information from the VODs that they've seen, all of that information that they have access to. It'd be pretty mental if they were able to get an upset win against FlyQuest on a map where they are oh so good.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say that it's probably just a very good comfort pick for Refrag, right? This is a map that, for me, that was one of the most impressive ones that I saw from last event. A lot has changed. I mean, how many months has it been? It feels like almost 5 months since the last Game Changers. It's been a while. So, yeah, it's good to see them a little bit more confident. But it was also kind of a stomp for them too, right? So this two kind of feelings going into this, that this is a map that's feeling good for us. To see it clash right away is very interesting. And then the other thing too is just like none of these other maps we've seen so far in the close quals, or not the close quals, the main event here from these teams. So Sunset, Icebox, a little bit less of a known quantity, and yeah, I think obviously FlyQuest is at advantage for both of them.
That being said, though, FlyQuest, when we do get to Sunset, they play a pretty unique comp there, bringing a deadlock in with a Cypher. They do a little double Sentinel action, so that will be pretty tough to deal with an unorthodox.
You still a big
approach.
fan of that comp?
On Sunset? I don't know about on Sunset. It's a weird map for it. Some other
I just
ones,
remember you
yeah.
buttering your bread
Ascent,
with that
yes.
comp like forever.
Ascent, I like that a lot. The Sunset, maybe they could win me over here.
I feel like at this point we've seen a very impressive amount of teams running with this composition, with the Cypher Deadlock on a bunch of different maps. This is something that we've seen a lot in Game Changers, so I'm curious if we're going to continue to see it for these teams as we find out how those maps are going to be played out. But let's jump into the agent select now, Bala, and we get to see the compositions now. Anything that catches your eye, anything to focus on as we jump into this?
No, not in particular. I think both pretty standard comps across the board, especially with the Asher changes. Yeah, nothing special here. Just the same old Viper one controller type thing. And you have the Cypher on one side, which has become meta in a lot of instances, and then on the other side, they're foregoing it. So yeah, I think this will be a really, really nice clash.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty standard stuff. Two teams that are good on this map should be pretty close. I imagine if any map in this series will be, Refrag should be able to step up here, despite it being a great map for FlyQuest.
I will shout out though that this is a massive comp change for Refrag. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is them. They used to run Cypherless. They used to run Fade. They used to run Gecko, like double initiator type stuff. But this is standard, so I'm not expecting them to be catching FlyQuest off guard or anything like that, because this is something they've experienced. So.
And something that I'm going to be paying attention to is going to be Melee and Dodonaut on the Raze. I think every time that I think of Raze in Game Changers, and I feel like I've said this multiple times, I'm thinking of Dodonaut just because of how insane she is on the agent. But I think Melee is also one of those players that is proving herself as she's playing more and more of this duelist, more and more as she's part of this team. So it's going to be an exciting head-to-head with a good map of Bind. We have pretty standard composition, slightly different on both sides. But let's find out who gets the win of this map. It's going to be your casters, Van and Riv.
Thank you so much, Dan. Try and Riv, yes, indeed. I mean, you're looking at the desk before, and Wyatt and Bala, they were surprised seeing that this was a pick coming in from Refrag in this matchup against FlyQuest because of FlyQuest's results yesterday. But then again, this is also the third time that Refrag is going to meet FlyQuest on Bind, and the last two times there were OT wins over FlyQuest. So it does now become a comfort pick that Bala was mentioned before.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this game. We have a lot of buttered bread. Let's make some toast as we get into our first round right here. It is going to be... Well, I gotta move my cam. It's all of a mini map. So we got a left side map. FlyQuest looks like they're going to give Refrag a lot of aggression towards B. Whether or not they fully take it is the question. This just becomes early conditioning for them. Showers control quick from Refrag. That's something we saw yesterday as well. Refrag will place that smoke outside Showers and not place it on rounds to kind of fight and not fight. Yes, they just jump out of hookah. Sorry to miss that.
Yeah, they're just trying to catch the players off guard towards long B, and they turn around and got those kills rather. So not even an opportunity to move in to get the plant down towards his B site. Already a 5 versus 3 to kick things off in the pistol round for Refrag. As we mentioned before, this is going to be a compositional change as FlyQuest is still trying to fight back. Kills coming in, back in their favor until it's a 3 versus 1. Starbounder stuck alone now towards the elbow, also picked off by Aluvali. And Refrag coming in with this comp change also comes in with the first victory of the pistol.
They had some nasty retakes yesterday, especially on their lower buys, so pistol round isn't going to feel too uncomfortable for them. I was not ready for FlyQuest to do that. With the team still coming up long B, they just rampaged out of hookah. It could work. They tried, like you said, trying to maybe pinch at long, thinking they pushed back into the Trailblazer. But man, they just walked into the firing squad and the cleanup for Refrag. So Spike's down here. It's going to be a walkabout. Still Showers control, actually extremity control altogether here for Refrag on this second round.
Quite interesting, actually, for FlyQuest to approach this way with full classics in, not really trying to control any orbs at the very beginning. So, and also not grouped up when they're playing just classics only. But Lubali's about to get some free kills with that judge inside hookah, and that's going to be hard for them to fall back to pick up Spike. So just trying to pick up the tempo for FlyQuest down towards the A site. The nades are good, and it's looking pretty close to a flawless so far with only Ev, the latest addition to FlyQuest, and also the last to fall in this second round.
Good few rounds. The consistency they had yesterday is still showing. Millie was getting nade kills yesterday as well from the Rays. Aluvali was holding down B very, very well, but it's going to come to the gun round now. And FlyQuest kind of feeling out the map the first 2 rounds. What kind of pressure are they going to put on here? And it looks like they will start to divvy up some of that agency towards Shower, with the Astra with Thea being able to do that global map control. They look to put themselves in a better defensive position to start here.
It's going to be a lot of responsibility on the Castle right now just to try to keep FlyQuest at bay, already expending the first flash for information. So it will get contact, but you can definitely see here for FlyQuest, after that dog going right outside the shed, doesn't spot anybody down towards window as well. This might be a call for FlyQuest to maybe fully commit towards that B site, understanding that possibly we're playing quite passively for the retake on B here.
Yeah, I think you know it. Dizzy's up, right? You can only see Kasler do so much with those guiding lights that don't refresh. So you're going to have double initiator utility coming on in, and it looks like Refrag will be going for the retake again. Trade from that.
See the approach.
Spectre.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice call from Refrag as well, right, Riv? They're stacking 4 players. They're in a bonus round. You're hoping that they're going to run into the traps that's set by the Cypher and then hopefully play the retake towards the B site. But from FlyQuest, because you have also this Astra, you can just support from across the map and utilize that for a late lurk.
And that's exactly what's happening. Slowly coming around. I don't even know if we'll see Thea get in the action here, as it's going to start off right now.
Yeah, and Alubali is able to trade that back with the Judge. And there's that lurk from Thea activated. Nice little pop there onto Mlu as well. And that's Riv alone now. Spectre long range loses the fight to the Vandal, but some good, decent damage to start. But again, to get back to what FlyQuest is doing here, with the compositional change that comes into FlyQuest on how they approach blind this time around with an Astra instead of a Brimstone, you could support across the map and really move around wherever you want. And if it came to a point where FlyQuest was, you know, pulling up those smokes in the rear, being stopped here towards this B side by Util, they could always late TP, because now the Astra could be looking towards Showers too.
Yep. And they can be wary of what Refrag was doing yesterday, as I was saying, with those Brim smokes. They might even do it this round on Showers, where they'll smoke out, they put it on the outside, and then the rounds they don't, you should expect a guiding light through teleporter and a fight from Showers. So they try to train that smoke being up all the time, so FlyQuest pushes into that open area to get themselves caught. We'll see if that comes even to play, as B just seems to be favored right now, at least to start, as they leave the breadcrumb of Dodo Nut there in Hookah.
Yeah, it's a great call too. It's going to be interesting to see how Reform's going to approach those type of crunches into Showers, where they're not playing with the Gecko anymore, right? When they did that against Goofies yesterday, it was using like the Thrash on top of that. So what type of crunches can you actually see now if they follow that similar game plan with a different comp? But that said, back into the action, a minute left. We have this gun round for both of these teams, where FlyQuest is still trying to prod around the map.
Showers control is going to be very big for Thea here. Kind of a kingpin of the situation, because they're going to get caught up on traps and have to figure it out. Thea comes up very big.
Yeah, and that's a weakened A site now, up to the Cypher at Blue alone inside Luca. Or inside Lance, rather. Gets popped up by the Satchel, and Donut's going to sweep the kill. Now you'll have the plant coming down from the Gecko. Getting closer and closer to the ults now for FlyQuest in this 4th round. But Refrag is already inside the A site, so it looks like they want to commit at least, and they need to press a little bit more, try to get these frags through to give themselves a chance to defuse. But as you see the positioning so far from FlyQuest, a lot of players towards U-Haul. Throw out with the wingman, it misses, but at least there's Mosh to delay even more.
Oh, it hit wrong
as well, unfortunately, though. And so this could be a full stick now coming in from Riv until Donut comes across. Now back in a 2 versus 2. Taking on that spike and the crossfire set up by FlyQuest, they are going to be able to salvage the round in the end, despite the utility that was missed.
Yeah, a bit of damage. A few more people lost than they would like, but we see the damage, even with lower numbers, Refrag can do on these takes. The communication, the teamwork, but FlyQuest's take on that, on Hookah, and everything, the 2-pronged attack from Showers, that really relied on Thea being able to clear it. 4-2-1 on that Astra pick coming into the composition for them this time around, and it's paying off big through utility and just from the aim Thea brings. Same, right back to that. It looks like they're turning this into their default. It's kind of that 3-1-1 across the map. We'll wait out for the first guiding light, which actually is not thrown this time around. Uh-oh, bit in the butt.
Still able
Okay.
to escape
Yeah.
though, right? The wall's going to come up here from Riv, so that's going to allow here Kazler to reposition once again, trying to cross over so they could double up towards Hookah.
Perfect
For
idea.
FlyQuest, with this wall coming up, they're going to just fall back for a bit. But the thing is here, Riv, they haven't really committed into any lurks yet, up towards short, up towards shower. So you're going to start using and have to use a little bit more util to go for this full pop, and it's potentially behind this Thrash.
They are all pushing out. This is going to be a very big timing by Refrag, as long as A-Site can delay. It looks like FlyQuest is going to have time to set up and garrison themselves.
There's that Thrash coming through towards U-Haul. Orbital strike coming across as well on the defensive end, but no contact actually onto Dodonut, who falls. And there's that triple flank, big flash coming through. Kazler with a hit, a second one onto Ev. And now numbers are dwindling down for FlyQuest. Only 2 players left, but Sonder has been good in this position yesterday. Picked off now by Mlua. It's all up to Thea on a 3 versus 1. Playing as the Astra, goes for the concuss, and then goes in for the shot. There's that first onto Kazler. It's low on HP, and it gets traded out by Riv. The defuse comes in across in the end. And that lower body you have from Refrag with that triple flank was huge.
Crazy. They do it again. They had an insane round on Lotus where they were able to just absolutely pincer in Oomfies yesterday and take A back with almost the same buy. Their sheriffs are disgusting. Their teamwork is on point, and they are getting ultimates necessary in these situations that just allow them to take the space they need. Really awesome stuff, and that's why you got to be scared of Refrag on these retakes. Man.
It's a good call, too, from Refrag, right? When you already had Riv inside Hookah, and she was not getting pressured at all from FlyQuest in the very beginning. So to reposition there and realize that it's quiet, they gambled for that push, and it paid dividends at this point. And that's going to hurt the econ for FlyQuest. They had a chance to snowball the economy a little bit more. Now they have to go for a Laura buy around their hero rifle of Starbound, but they have a lot of ults to work with, though.
They go around each other. We see what they try to put out as a technique to take that shower space, though, without the Gecko this time. It's 3 in Guiding Light. It is not Kazler over towards B this time. They're towards A, so we're going to see the rotation back here from Mluo and Riv to the A site.
Gecko Plant gets it towards triple, so that's going to allow Dodonut to kind of just stay alive and be the last point with the showstopper to guarantee the round if they can. Maybe they won't even need to use it, though, as Sonder gets the first pick there onto Kazler. There is that flip in the map. The trade capabilities out from FlyQuest as finally the rifles are coming through, though, for Refrag. Speaking of refrags, they are able to get a few. It's back to a 2 versus 2. Showstopper now comes out, just trying to delay a little bit more. You're waiting for that second tap. Shot right away, alluvially falls. Up to Millie alone now in a 1 versus 2. Has to tap it again. Pain Shells pushes them away, pushes her off. And that's pretty much now FlyQuest winning it off time. Millie with a nice shot onto Dodonut at least. But that is going to be it. The round still comes in for FlyQuest, and it looks like it, Riv. We're going back and forth on 50 rounds.
I love it. FlyQuest answers with a round of their own, and they show that they are not going to be stopped by that lower buy. They have something in their pocket, too. And that's exactly what they need to show here. I think a lot of people expected FlyQuest to be running away a little bit more already with this one, and we may start to see that as they did just hard reset the money on RF or Refrag side. So that's going to be a little tough to deal with. They don't have to deal with a showstopper at least. That's maybe a saving grace for them, but I feel like FlyQuest could really start to pop off here. They got some good ults to work the map, and they probably aren't too happy about going down there.
Yeah, I mean, for FlyQuest to invest in those ults were perfect, too, because now you look at Refrag's economy. Unfortunately, the best weapon that they have close range is going to be a Judge, but it is Game Changers. It is Sheriffs as well, wielded by the defensive side, and that could still do some damage. Seekers now have to be invested for FlyQuest to enter towards the B site. Pain Shell to try to clear it out. No trap coming through, or no trap kills, rather, as we get vertical capabilities here out of FlyQuest, and that is going to bring a lot of crosshair placements to allow your FlyQuest to overtake this B site. And no surprises after all here for Refrag.
Yeah, I think they expected it to be very fast and very aggressive this round. They did what they could, but FlyQuest just 2 on top of it. The Seekers going through, the Trailblazer breaking the trip. Even though the trip's still there, it was Sonder to take it first, and Dodonut had access to the site. I think that was super important in the rotation that happened. See him go straight up, like you said, using that elevation, just great crosshairs, and just a little haze on the screen, sun in his eyes. Still a kill to come up, easy peasy. So still, Cosmic Divide, and they can also clear U-Haul very quick with this ultimate from the get-go if they want to throw Thrash in. They survive the first bit of utility, and the ults are out.
Gets stopped right away, though, and Luli tries to continue to spray through the smoke to see if they can pick somebody off. That is going to be a Cosmic Divide here to see if it's going to force Refrag to try to peek out. And instead, a TP across. Trips are set up, though, from Mluo. And they have the camera perfect here to just hear the TPs.
See if she can make this anything like Lotus.
Oh, nope, not with the Thrash. Turns around like that, like a boomerang to catch him, but there's support coming out from Refrag at least. 3 kills coming through. Riven standing her ground, back towards the B side, and back into the win for Mlu with the last kill, and Sauter could not get the ace to save the round.
Just like Lotus. Not really, though. That was hectic as hell. But what? Everybody looked to the right. They got the I can't even think of the word. Detain. Thank you, Brain. They got the detain right away, so everybody thought, all right, we have to go for the person on the right. That's the threat. Quickly get it, then hit the detain. And then the few people in the back thought that situation had already ended, but the detain was still alive. And Mluo was still hiding, doing the jazz hands. Comes out with a big pivotal kill to end the round. It is, like you said, Vance, back and forth. As Guiding Light tags up this B push to start the round, just give a little bit of map info. Extremities are pretty big in knowledge here for Refrag.
Blinded through the cage. A headshot onto Mluo, and that's just unlucky on the side of Refrag, who thought they had the timing here to fight back towards that long B. So that's orb control. That's Thrash available for Sonder as well. And the TP across to utilize this to split towards the A side. There's still players, though, still bugs.
Yeah, they have it rotated out.
In the backup default. Yeah, exactly. Went a little bit too quick for FlyQuest, because there's still a chance to fight back until Starbound. They crept up here towards U-Haul. Donut inside the smoke does not care, and that's all thanks to their Thrash once again. Riv had the jazz hands, but they are definitely exiting the stage out of that one. And Kassler is left alone, 1 versus 5, and this might be a call to just save at this point. You know the economy is going to be very low for the team. Just going to try to get at least a pick if they can. She realizes then with the Thrash coming across again. Oof, that was close, but only has 1 bullet left. Make it count. Unfortunately, will not.
Oof. Yeah, those Jiggle Peaks from FlyQuest seem to be very deadly right now. And when they take it right back, what's the money situation? This is one of the most unfun situations to be in. Win around. So FlyQuest had won a few to gain some bank, so it doesn't hurt as bad. But now that Refrag is win around, lose around, win around, lose around, you are not in the good money. Not at all. It's almost like you want to save up just to make sure you can get through it. It does look like they'll be very well off for the next round here, and we know what they did last time with Sheriffs. Let's see if they can produce some results again.
That'd be a high-risk, high-reward right here. Triple peek out towards Luka so they can push players into front right and towards the short A side, where hopefully that Showstopper could have done something, but unfortunately not. Picked off from the air. Donut fighting close range now into a stun player. That's Kassler to fall. And that, again, the play to try to funnel them all towards a Showstopper gets canceled. And this should pretty much be the round now for FlyQuest. And indeed, it will be with only Riv standing alone.
Goes down. Haste has been upped a little bit here by FlyQuest. The moment they get into position right after that wall break, it's a few steps, and it has been off of a reaction to Refrag, right? That one was Millie trying to come out with an ult. They got a good kill, and you would always go forward. But they did it on B. They ran right through and got themselves into sight. They have not hesitated whatsoever, and really aren't messing around with hookah too much anymore as they do that. So we'll see what they decide here for round 11. 3 ults on both sides. It does not look like Shower's going to get too much love here, so we're going to get a lot of action here by Teleporter.
I've got your trail.
That's the Seekers too to start things off. Orgos try to slow players down. Millie goes for the first pick onto Donut, who won't be able to activate Showstopper within this round. Using now the wingman to try to get more information as a second scout. But there's a great crossfire setup in the end for Refrag. Thea now the IGL has Spike at least and has an opportunity to plant on this 1 versus 2.
Star there too.
tap on that spike. Oh, there's that first lean.
Oh, that's a
And knows
TP if I ever
exactly
saw
where the
one.
last player is at. Exactly. Or if she moves into the TP, though, there's still a Cypher util back towards the B site.
Oh, you're
so
right.
Fighting here against Mluo would be good, but Mluo is just ready for it. Continues the spree of what she brought in from day one into this day and keeping this game close once again on blind between these two teams.
Oh my gosh, you're right though. The Cypher trip's gonna just put you in such a sore spot going for the fight. After feeling that one too, why not? You took no damage, so you still have at least a shot if they hit body. But it's not the case. The aim comes through, and so does the 5th round. Man, what a game so far here from Refrag, showing the retake, showing some lower buy action. And it looks like they're going to get themselves here, push towards B long, and 3 towards A still on this round. They've kind of given up shower control. They want everybody for the site take now, for that retake. It seems to be more of a priority.
Yeah, definitely. With Ezra's responsibility now, lacing the shoes literally of Lace as this initiator role, trying to use that utility to maybe have some players peek out towards showers, because this is where Donut pulls out the operator on the offensive side for the first time here of this game. And of course, the last time for FlyQuest on the attack side too. So we're closing in into round number 12. At the minute mark, it is looking to be a 3-2 split within the entry of the A site.
They know there's an op. Everybody's going to have some hard angles now. Oh, but Ev comes flying around off the box.
Get that kill onto Millie too. Showstopper though at least gets canceled out. Alubali in the back of U-Haul also drops the spike, and Ev cannot get the backstab from behind. Alubali somehow still stays alive and runs out of bullets to finally get picked up by Ev, but this runs down the clock to give a chance for Refrag to move back in on 2 versus 2. Double TP across towards the end. There's still the trip set up by Mluo that could potentially detain a little bit more. There's that first one to slow down the first player. The wall bank cannot get the pick because there's still the front side of the tin, unfortunately, there. And thankfully, at least for Dodonut. Plat now comes down 2 versus 2. Dodonut stuck inside Hookah. And now Ev also swings out for the trade. Swing on the left, and there's that flick across the 4K in the round. And Ev, the latest addition, to allow FlyQuest to at least close the first half with the lead of a 5-7 scoreline.
That's exactly what we were seeing in the intro today from FlyQuest in their game. Just spinning around, getting these shots, aim on rails. Ooh. Those last few steps were all Ev needed to find Kazler's position with the audio shot and just get another one on that round. Holding down B, a nice transition from the A side over once they figured out they were having a bit of trouble. So FlyQuest do finally break away from the back and forth, but only for a round. So we get that 7-5 first half. And now we get to see what we get out of Refrag here. Millie on the raise. Let's see how she's supported as they try to get into these sites.
Yeah, and White also mentioned here that yesterday when Ev was playing here for FlyQuest, they didn't have to do much, right? It was basically a Sonder and Starbound show with whatever they could do against their opponents in that upper round 1. But when you're seeing today that, and the responsibilities now are onto Dodonut and Ev, well, they could definitely step up to the plate as well. And you're starting to see a FlyQuest that has still a very deep firing squad across the roster. And with this pistol round, trying to jump spot for information, the flash does get contact into players down towards long, and this is going to keep FlyQuest ready. Looks like they want to fight this, getting ready for a dizzy flash swing, potentially off a contact of the Dodonut. And there's that double flash.
Oh, the dizzy!
That swing,
so
and
good.
everything is good.
Spike down B.
Oh, it was so good. That timing was disgusting because everyone was already swung into peak. Here's more.
One enemy remaining.
And it's a 1-for-1. Riv now in a 1 versus 3 has an opportunity here to at least win that duel. Pick up the spike, but not enough time to run through. She needed to get that kill a little bit more quickly so that she could get through that TP, but FlyQuest is already there, ready to trade her right back out and win the pistol on their side for the second half.
Yeah, that was a just absolutely trained round from them. The timing actually to go out, and you have to force it. So as soon as the Gecko throws Dizzy, everybody pushed through there, and there was no choice but for Refrag to aim, look. Nobody could look up to get Dizzy. Beautiful way to break the crosshairs. I guess keep them low.
Yeah.
FlyQuest planned out that B strat. All right, everything mid. The Outlaw comes out.
Almost thought we are going to have a double outlaw to start things off too, but instead, after Starbound realized that Donut's going to use it towards short, they went for the judge. Sunder fully blinded, 2 kills with the stinger, and make that even a third in the round, and that is going to render things a little bit more difficult for Refrag going into their attack side, because Sunder now here, Riv, is already 1 away from getting a thrash, and they're doing a lot of damage here in this anti-eco, and now in their bonus, they could still have some very strong firepower on their side.
It becomes even more important now. I love that you mentioned that, because obviously Refrag's going to want to do something, but FlyQuest can stall that. There's no ults for Refrag to use here. They need to get some rounds now, because FlyQuest knows how to hold a game, hold a lead, and even with these low buys, they're going to be able to play around this outlaw and the way this judge is situated. Looks like that's going to be towards B mostly, and Refrag have chosen correctly here. If they can get this bomb down and get this site held, put themselves in a good spot.
Doing a good job at least to utilize utility to clear out the back of the site, now knowing that FlyQuest are going to play that retake. Meanwhile, FlyQuest, with this bonus round, they did focus on getting the orb onto Sunder towards B, so they can utilize this and clear out space towards U-Haul. With they can use these stingers for low range and close range battles. That's 2 detained! And eventually Kazler's there to save the first one. Starbound falls, but here's the rest of the crew falling behind here from FlyQuest. A snake fight to try to push them back, but they're pushing forward as well, and everybody's continuing these trades back in favor of FlyQuest, back to a 2 versus 2, and Millie now just has to play the clock with Mluo. Things have calmed down for a bit. Sunder upgraded onto a Vandal. Donut trying to move through with the stinger. And there's that first swing out from Millie. A nice one through the cage onto Sunder as well. And Refrag are going to be able to win their gun round against FlyQuest's bonus.
That's so big. FlyQuest doing a big amount of damage, huge damage, to be able to take down that many weapons and get the rebuy from Refrag, but they needed the W, and they got the W. It looked a little sketchy there for a moment once that Gecko Ultimate Thrash came up for U-Haul, but well handled. It seems like Shower has been the pivotal, like, don't move, don't say anything until you have to moment, and Millie makes that one her own to get that round for the team. So, Refrag playing both extremities. No, just one. Looks like Riv's going to push towards mid here as they go ahead and they make this run up towards B. This is what they did on Pistol, but they were thwarted very hard. So it's orb control and a little conditioning.
Riv just got caught off guard there a little bit.
Yeah.
Looks like there was a call to try to pick up the spike and move back towards B, and then Riv was listening to the call and just got caught by 2 players peeking out towards A site. Then now engages, initiates the Refrag push towards the B site. Great entries coming through from 2 players out here to open up the site for Refrag to play the pulse plant.
See if they can come in. 3 stars left. One's about to come back up, so they should have some good smokes for this. An attempt coming in from spawn. 1 dizzy.
Yeah, using one of them here towards the elbows. They can try to jump out, trying to concuss towards the site here, and it works out. The pain shells behind the concuss does get the kill onto Kazler. And then Mluo and Aluvali will have to once again try to clutch this out. Disadvantage for RF. Nice little second kill, trying to spray through the third, but does get the pick at the end. And Mluo once again saves the round for Refrag.
Through smokes yesterday, through smokes today, it doesn't matter. It just seems like Mluo can draw the terrain in her head and figure out where the shots need to be made after the first few calibrate it all. What a retake here as well. You can see the pressure FlyQuest can so easily put back into the site. So it's taking these last moment players, the last standing players again here. Millie last time, Mluo coming up big on round 16 as we get into round 17 here. Low buy now for FlyQuest as they work through those credits from the side of Refrag, and they are on deck for a lot of ultimates, just a few blips away, and they're going to have some strong rounds to come.
This is going to be a call here to just give up for Refrag, indeed.
Well,
especially after Mluo falls and realizing there was 4 players pushing out here from Hookah. That's going to technically be an open site unless Thea has something to say. Ghost in hand, smoked out though from the Brimstone, so she won't be able to see. Donut's already on the flank using that showstopper for a double kill. Is this another Thrifty in store now, this time for FlyQuest? As you already see Aluvali and Millie split across the map, and they will not be able to help each other out. It's up to these 2 now to play their hero plays.
Disgusting answer. I can't believe that just happened. So smart from FlyQuest in their rotations. Millie with one.
One enemy remaining.
Things are working out until Ev plays the off angle. Beautiful trade, and that's spiked down. But Millie with that kill right there towards the barrels allows for her to get here. This showstopper on a 1 versus 2. Trying to clear out space. Paint shells on the right side, but that's all utility gone. In her position given away. Will not be able to move in here to try to pick up the spike. I mean, you do have Ev that's low on HP. You're playing the high-low here just around the staircase. Here's the peek. Oh. There was a chance, though, because she took down Donut first and only needed to blow onto Ev to take them down. But Ev, once again, holds up and steps up to the plate and wins around here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, the pressure in the situation not getting to her. The retake, the speed they went down to get the Vandal. They knew as a team, they're like, if we can get this gun, that was the Cypher, that's the lurk. Nobody should be around it. They're running to the other side, and the smokes that Aluvli threw down were perfect to allow that jump out. Aluvli threw down were perfect for FlyQuest coming back, so they had coverage from back sight, so they just threw the ult towards front sight. So that the attacker smokes kind of gave a little help to FlyQuest on the retake there. Now as they head towards showers, this is going to be really our first big A split here from Refrag on the second half.
Yeah. Laura by though, but we know that so far in this game, these ults have been quite good for both of the teams, so I wouldn't be surprised here if Refrag wants to use a little bit of that for the execution. There's that first swing behind the dog. Nice little entry by Millie. That might engage things, especially after that second kill. Donut's now stuck behind the towels. Turns around for that second kill into Mluo. Hide inside the Viper Orb to just dodge away from Aluvli. That cancels out the plans now and trying to force their way in until that happens. Somehow, Refrag, without the ults, with just Sheris, have an opportunity now to win a Thrifty of their own in the second half.
Crazy stuff from Refrag. Shots here from
Spot it. At least they have information on the last few players. There's that double peek, and Aluvli comes in for the kill in.
Jeez.
This is why Bind was picked by Refrag. It doesn't matter if FlyQuest seems to have control of the pace of the game of Bind. It's always going to be a close game between these two teams on this map.
A lot of mental fortitude here for Refrag as well, knowing that FlyQuest gets a few rounds, there's ults to be played against, and they are not playing timid. They are not changing their games to play anything that FlyQuest wants them to. Refrag is still bringing their own game to the table. Now, tons of credits there across a few players of Aluvli and Millie. Ults are up here. This is what we were talking about, that they can start to roll these ults into rounds. They are going to have to face a few on the side of FlyQuest, but they aren't going to have to face the same firepower this round.
Unless it's into Donut now with their hero rifle on the top of the APC, and that's potentially where Refrag was starting to find information in the first place, where even a Spike was there, peeking out with the Raze. Peeking out with Riv. But at least Kazler is able to fall back, and they regroup here for a B hit.
Looks like Starbound's just going to play the life right now in the back of sight. Probably get back towards that spawn area once this is taken. I expect them to throw down Viper's Pit once they get in here and get pretty easy ultimate setup.
Let's hold it through. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's still a Thrash available for Sonder. We know that she's been good here on the percentages of hitting players with that Thrash. Millie able to catch Starbound off guard, as we have that triple TP being heard, and Mlu was there. Continuing to reign here with the Vandal against the pistols, and that hero rifle now becomes the last line of defense, literally against the 5 players. Full roster of Refrag, full HP as well. You're just trying to make this costly. So the aim duel now team deathmatch. as she tries to go for the wide swing, did not realize there was 2 other players out there. But this is a great round for a Refrag, at least here, Riv, because they won the anti-eco without having to use any of those ults.
Exactly. They get through that pretty unscathed, honestly. Oh, I wanted to hear it.
They're nice shots, man.
Thank you. Flawless round here. Deep into the first map of Bind. Refrag versus FlyQuest Red, and we get into round number 20. Towards A, once again, Refrag has been able to divvy up the map very nice here. Not really show the same thing at all.
And it's quick. Talking about cycling the ults there. Isolated at least the defensive line towards Showers.
Crash
Forcing
through.
to have Donut
Crash
the
through.
There's that flash. You mentioned before here, the defensive side for FlyQuest at least, though. It's a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. They were able to get 3 kills out of that. Trying to flip the map. Millie's trying to move forward. Able to get a couple of kills of her own, but really at least Riv alone now. Drop in the wall, hoping to catch one off guard. Wingman will not spot her, so that gives an opportunity until the second crash comes out. And there is potentially that second swing. Nice little pick onto Sonder, at least down to 2 HP from the splash here of the paint shells.
2 in a dream. 2 in a dream.
The timing onto that one, too. It's going to wrap around triple. Wall comes down. And when she peeks, they're not looking at her. She has an opportunity, but she's still cleared Showers. Now finally spots the first one.
Oh, she's
But
gonna
that's
go back
also
around.
Donut inserted into U-Haul, so the trade
gonna do it
potential
again.
is still there. I mean, at this point, you got a TP, right?
30 seconds
no.
left.
Trying to swing back, hoping that they actually rotate back towards spawn with their back turned, but it will not happen. Riv, unfortunately, felt like she had timing the whole time, but unfortunately not in the end.
Actual ships in the night. Oh my god. Back-to-back style. Holy
That was a fog of war for
moly.
sure.
That was crazy.
Enemy remaining.
That could have been the double up so quick, but the pacing there, the way it happened, goes in the favor of FlyQuest as they stick together for the teamwork on that and make sure to clear all the angles. And the last one, they did find the refrag member of Riv. All right. Spike's going to be down for this one. One of the first rounds we see very, very slow.
Yeah, default,
from either team here as they just check everything out on the map. Like you said, a default, where are the ults going to be used best? What can they figure out? They can maybe find one initiator and not both.
Especially when here on the attack side, that previous round, you use Seekers and Brimstone ult just to try to take control towards Showers, and it failed. Now the best thing to enter is the Showstopper, but you're going to have to use a little bit more utility to try to gain that space before you could explode. Set the contact play. Refrag does get the first kill. No refrag on the side of FlyQuest, though.
Yeah, that was a simple utility push. Like, okay, 10 seconds, Dizzy down. How far can we make it here into the cubby? Kill on Sonder.
Not even needing to using the Showstopper to even gain space towards the A side. They can use this for the pulse plant. Now all 5 players inserted inside the A side for refrag. Nobody's going to play any lineups. They just want to fight for U-Haul control. Also prevent FlyQuest from flooding back from U-Haul and from the front of the site that they've been really good at so far. F does have Seekers to work with, and it comes through. It does get contact out to Starbound. Here's that flood on the other side of the APC. Nice shot coming out from Riv! The 4th one in a round, and that was the cleanest back and forth on micro adjustments on those frags.
Oh my gosh, everybody's turning up today. Let's go, Game Changers. This is exactly what we wanted to see. The upper bracket is delivering right now. And we'll have to see what they can continue to do as they make their way through this game. We still got quite a bit to go. 2 more maps. First timeout is going to be called here on the flawless round.
Enemy remaining.
They have been they're only getting hotter as the rounds go on here. FlyQuest is doing their damnedest to get these defending rounds in, and it honestly looks like they have a few of the rounds cleaned up, and something crazy happens from refrag, and it's been each of the members popping off. So the desk said, hey, what's going to happen between Millie and Dodo? Well, they're topping the score for each of their teams.
For sure. And with the FlyQuest timeout that's being called here by Jovi, you could definitely see here, you mentioned it, Riv, there was great control from FlyQuest, and they were really good at controlling the lead and maintaining leads that they have against their opponents. And this is probably the first time now that you feel that it's slipped through the grass, especially on that retake. You can't allow a Viper like that out in the open to get a 3K with the execution and protocols you had for that retake into that A site. And now you know the economy's broken at this point. There's an opportunity for refrag to really tie things up at 11-11. They still have ults to work with on the pulse plant. So it's starting to show here for FlyQuest. They're going to have to start fighting a little bit more to try to win this first map here of this series against refrag.
Whatever happens with this Raze ult's going to be huge, because you do have Viper ult coming up after that, but Cosmic Divide could be a big play. Nobody's really going to get another one unless they farm the Gecko Orb. So FlyQuest really needing to hit the shots here in a moment when Refrag is just turning into absolute eagle eyes.
I mean,
Playing pretty far back here.
you talk about the showstopper. I mean, this is quite important. Look at the stack that you have from FlyQuest. This is Sheriff across the board. There's stars as well that could maybe get some people vulnerable that allows you to get a showstopper a lot of value into a refrag hit. And that dog did not spot anybody from the attack side. So this might be a trap that refrag walks into.
Oh, the trap is set. The trap hit.
Oh, Satchel above the showstopper too. And now you thought here that you had an opportunity to fight back, but thankfully with FlyQuest, so many players inside this B site, all the players of FlyQuest inside the B site, it gives yourself a chance to TP away and try to get the plant back towards the A site.
Remember what they did with just one Vandal last time as they took it from Sands in the hands of Emluo. Coming around at an A flank. They're coming from spawn here. It's going to be a little time before it's a full setup for refrag here, but they are going to go to U-Haul and that one pivotal player in Showers.
Yeah, and that's 2 rifles upgraded for FlyQuest, and you like here what you're seeing from the side of Refrag. Full trip set up now on Pulse plans to go for trap kills. Illubili does get the pick off here onto Starbound. Pit is up on the other end, and then Mluo unfortunately falls, so gives away the opportunity to get any trap kills. And now it's up to Riv alone once again on the 1 versus 2. Oh no, a TK coming across, and the full defuse comes in from the wingman no matter what. Postmortem as Donut was at 1 HP inside that pit. There was a chance to get that win, but FlyQuest on lower by manages to get into map point.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, the way this played out, you called it really well with the 4 stack, the showstopper coming up to disrupt at least the take with a beautiful dodge on it in the blast pack we saw. And yeah, just the hit from Mosh coming in on the teammate. That's tough, but FlyQuest still find it. They're okay. As they get through here. Starbound, ult still, Emluo just with uplink there. So, not sure how they're going to be able to use this unless they get a really early kill. That return on investment becomes so good. And they are just stunted on this mid push by the ult from Starbound.
Yeah, exactly that. And that forces the hand of Millie to try to peek into Hookah. There was a high-low coming through, pain shells to keep him at bay. TP comes across from Thea. Now you're trying to walk through the sweatshirt Viper pit. As there's a nice little trade-off here by Illubili. So that's pit down and an opportunity here to take site control, but the spike is so far behind. Thankfully, the Neurothuf comes out, though, from Mluo, so they realize that they do have an opportunity to just hold W with the knives out and try to get the plant in.
Into the smokes? Into vent? Oh, they're actually just going to hold 1 there and maybe draw away. It's not the greatest angle anymore for Illubili, so I think they're looking to re-smoke.
This thing is a trip, too, just to help Illubili.
Dear.
They break the trip now. Illubili thought she was going to spray through with it as well, but instead is just waiting here after the cage. But a lot of time has been wasted. This might be potentially a save coming out from FlyQuest unless these picks happen and they don't check that corner. So this is for sure now. I mean, Thea, she can't buy in the next round. Still trying to go for the fight. Concussed there on to Mluo. Pushes her back. This is pretty much GG into the round. Burning a little bit from the molly. Players in the back of the site now for Refrag. A crossfire setup from Showers as well. And now definitely Thea is going to count her losses and force to fall back rather and save the rifle in the next. But Refrag, I mean, Riv, the 3rd time these 2 teams meet up here on Bind, could potentially be the 3rd time it will be decided into another overtime.
That, it would be insane. Honestly, both teams are on track for it. The aim is incredible from both sides. You see Refrag answer, boom, boom, boom. 1, Thea coming around the corner, tap. How's it going? Like, nobody can be stopped right now, and only basically from a trade on your team. That's what we're dealing with. It is spicy in this first map in the uppers. It's going to be final round once again. Can FlyQuest hold them off, or is it actually going to be that OT game once again?
And FlyQuest has to hold him off with 2 stingers and 3 rifles. Thankfully, though, Sonder once again has a thrash. Could be used for retakes or could be used here on just trying to push Refrag away from a potential hit towards the A side. That's where FlyQuest has most of their players focused on the defensive side. Refrag, once again, it's continuing to be a very slow round. Another default. Trying to force rotates out here to start things off on this B side. The spike seems to still be leaning towards A with Riv.
They would love to fake Sonder out. How easy that's going to be. Probably not at all, but they may want to try. They could blast back a few. No, they're actually going to TP right away. See if anybody push showers and try to regain control there with a split.
They get contact onto Thea too, so Thea's forced to fall back. Thankfully avoids get her stake by being thrown on the ground. Somehow Donut lands that shot on for Riv. Now it's a 4 versus 4. There's alert towards the B side, but that alert's not going to do too much until that happens. But there's still a player down towards
Oh my
Sam.
gosh!
Starbound misses the timing. Aluvali made it across. Maybe Starbound could creep up and get the pick though.
They
While
still
the
have it.
plant comes down. Millie gets the pick though onto one side. It's a 1-for-1, and the plan is actually towards spawn, so it works out for Refrag, but they are at a disadvantage. And Blue is inside the spawn. That's 2 huge kills coming out from Refrag, and an orbital strike to just seal the deal. This is going to be impossible for Sonder to retake. There's that 1v1, and Blue wins it, and we are going into extra innings at the Game Changers in North America.
Switching sides.
Refrag have brought it over to overtime. No way. What it's taking to make these rounds happen is incredible from both teams here. The sneaky lurks, the teleports coming in from Refrag, FlyQuest being able to get retakes when they were just on defense that they shouldn't have been getting on their lower buys, but they couldn't close it out, so we get overtime as Refrag brings us here now. It's going to be full Vandal buy across the board. Looking for head taps. No control towards showers here coming in from FlyQuest to start off on the attack side. And we get Refrag back on defense. Everything from Cypher is set up here at B.
Yeah, it's a great call too to say that it's all rifles across. That makes me realize that Refrag haven't really gone for any operators on the defensive side ever here on this half,
Yeah.
but we'll hold that thought though. FlyQuest, they have pressured up towards this B site. They have control now of an Orban. That's Sonder getting closer to the Thrash. No showers control being taken by Thea though, so a TP might be risky.
Poison's off.
Just a little gas back and forth. Seems like Starbound's trying to grab somebody out of their hiding position here, but no one's peeking in overtime. Little sweaty play, if you will, as they're going to wait till the last moment to get a peek on here. What a push up from Starbound, and they're still walking free in the site for now.
Until then, Starbound had to have that kill that allows now Millie to get 2 kills on top of that, hit by the Dizzy. They've wasted that clock down. They gave a chance here for Refrag to just reposition on the rotate. While Lubely's still alive towards U-Haul. No opportunities though to cancel that plant. Wingman's gonna be able to plant it. 2 players inside the showers, 1 stuck towards triple. Make that only 1, make that 0 towards showers, and only Thea left. And Kazler drops in for a trip kill and puts Refrag back at map point in overtime.
Kazler getting the Gecko ultimate offline through the wall. Beautifully done to drop Sonder before there was any gain from that ult from Thrash. And they have themselves a game point now. This is the first time we've really seen FlyQuest down at game point. They were down rounds before, but this feels like he's 2 or 3, right? Win by 2, it might just happen. All right. Looks like they are talking it out. You see Donut hanging in spawn for now as they get themselves situated. 24-18 for Millie, 29-19 for Donut. The raises popping off on Bind here. Spike's going to be down for round 26 just to start, as it's a push from FlyQuest.
Not even a recall too, just a walk down to go for that peek down towards the right side. It does get that peek onto Riv. It does not give a chance now for Lubely to come back for the trade. Great way here for FlyQuest to kick things off to utilize their opponent's Viper Wall to get that first blood. Regrouping now towards showers, dropping Luo, and I think this might be a call for a second overtime here because that spike is so far away once again, and so is the offensive line. All of them in different spots across the map for Refrag.
FlyQuest just absolutely reading that Refragged is hard on the default right now. I mean, if you think about last round, it was Mluo going into B, right, to get them a very late round. So they were moving together, did not leave any positions, and they called mid and the shower push. Yeah, FlyQuest had the no this round for sure. And it looks like they could be able to close it out and bring us to another OT here. Thea, ready for it.
Overcook?
Oh, come on.
An overcook. The
30 seconds left.
the insert of Kazler towards elbow thinks that they could actually move in for a split inside the backstab into the B side, but that happened! No! It was so close for a triple!
The shooting somebody
nice
in the
reaction.
back. Why is Sonder just moving around like that, man? What the heck? Just stand still. That's what I'd be saying. So they push in. Spikes here as they thrash the early location.
That's gonna hit.
Oh, right in the butt. Yep.
Yep. Yep, that's gonna hit no matter what. They are gonna go. Oh no, the Dizzy! Oh my god. Okay, I thought there was at some point the Dizzy that blinds 2 players and she gets out of the ult and somehow gets a double kill there just the troll. That would have been crazy. But
oopsie.
Things stay calm here, Riv. We're going into a second overtime.
Oh man, you're right. A little bit of the overheat there.
Impressive wiring.
Their positioning, a little bit of trigger discipline, but still, Sandra's movement was so weird based on that, and you cannot blame the setup. It was perfect. Finding all 3 first, and just a bit of a mishap. Unfortunate. Let's see the replay on the.
With that, again, because of this
the
position
duck?
from Kassler, they definitely thought that they had an opportunity here to get a pinch back and a backstab into the B site, so did not expect here that Kassler was going to play towards the back of the spawn. So,
right.
And it's also in that previous round here, just before we went into the defuse, it seems like FlyQuest were taking their time on that defuse. I think it was to maximize what Theo was trying to call potentially moving into this round because they haven't really had the best of successes here going into their attack side, but again, you're adding a timeout on top of that from Jovi just to iron things out, just to make sure here that they close out potentially this attack side.
I think it's going to be make sure there is no B lurk. That was the second. They specifically set up this round so extremities couldn't lurk, and Kassler gets all the way around the back. It's kind of funny. But yeah, they still win it, and you're right. Yeah, it's just got to be organizing how they can close out the game, because FlyQuest should have already closed out this game based on where they were before. So Refrag has done a beautiful job to be able to come back there against that pressure that FlyQuest can basically add at any time. So this timeout about to fizzle here as we get back into buy time. There's still Vandals on the board. It seems like everybody needs, we said it before, everybody needs to be trading on each other. The aim is just impeccable right now from both here as we get late into this first map. And this could be a very long series, so it's also going to be just a war of attrition back and forth. Who can last that long?
And it's no stranger to this for these two teams, especially going head-to-head against each other here for Refrag and FlyQuest. You definitely know they had the tenacity for it. Just continuing to concuss and just break the crosshair placement of Louvely. No chance to even play the game that round. And no chance even for Refrag to play the defense this round. An early TP now gives a tell as well. There's going to be at least one player into shower, so that also eliminates the element of surprise of Millie playing inside the area. So Plant comes in for FlyQuest to re-clear back into the short A side. Thea's ready for it, though.
Ooh, shoulder to a headshot.
Their trade is almost there. Emlu is down at 7 HP, and Sonner uses the wingman to just swing out with it. And now Millie has been spotted by the Sky Flash. It is a 4 versus 1.
Yeah.
And that's FlyQuest now back at map point.
An A hit.
Switching sides.
Still, you see Refrag trying to be a little lurky. Emluo can. The timings are so good. I think that's something they need to try and do every time here. But FlyQuest still, that's not the first time they pushed up short there. They feel super comfortable behind each other doing it. And they have the double initiator utility. It's almost possible to play in U-Haul. So they kind of guaranteed themselves a kill to start the round. It was a really smart start there. So we get into round 28. FlyQuest putting the pressure on once again here. See if they can push this game point over the edge. Quick push towards B long. The detection is there. And this has been a rinse and repeat before.
Yeah, but Refrag doesn't look like they want to play a default. They're just going to hold W with 5 players up there, but Ev does get the first blood. There's a beautiful suck coming through here to allow now FlyQuest to get a couple of kills, but still towards the end, it's a 3 versus 3. Oh,
almost. It's kind of an if you can do it, I'll do it. You try first. Everybody towards
at least
long.
He gets a tougher one only.
There is a Molly back there. They have a flash. They have a little bit. And they've healed up. Rotation around. I love a Louvely to hookah
exactly.
here.
A late lurk coming back here, a late rotate back towards Hookah to re-clear it at the same time. And FlyQuest are just so focused on even clearing the front part of the site first. And there's that time, and unfortunately
smart.
for Luvali, Donut once again turns around to get that pick. But a refrag comes in for the attack side. Castle on a 1 versus 2, it's halfway. But Donut is ready for it, and FlyQuest finally will be able to close this bout on Bind by winning this game in overtime on Bind.
It came down to the Rays. It came down to Dodonut, like 6 head on that one. Really smart. That last second that actually the flank could have mattered. They remember, I think, Baby Joey was like, watch that flank. They come up, the timeouts pay off, the little talks pay off, but also Dodonut, absolutely incredible this game to be able to fend off so much with the side of FlyQuest Red to what Millie and Refrag were bringing. That was a surprising first game.
Yeah, and even for Refrag, they didn't have to use a timeout at all in that first map. So it kind of shows here going at this matchup head-to-head that they're comfortable with the game plan going through for Bind, and they're comfortable going in through the series. And they actually made the FlyQuest sweat a bit for that victory on the first map. But there's still more Valorant to continue in this series between these two teams, and that's going to happen after the break here for the North American Game Changers here for the VCTs.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
At Verizon, every phone can be the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Wow, phones are going to be flying to Verizon.
At Verizon, new and existing customers can get iPhone 16 Pro and a new iPad, all on us. Only on Verizon.